Welcome to the Emirates Arena this afternoon for Glasgow Rocks against Manchester Giants. If you tuned in, just sorting out some technical issues, and we'll tip off here very shortly.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 JB 1 2 1 2 Niall Gray.
One, two. Where's the headphone volume?
You can hear, everyone can hear.
Yeah, so there. Okay. And welcome everybody on this Sunday evening, and we have a BBL Cup contest between the Glasgow Rocks and the Manchester Giants. Good evening everyone, Mark Woods here alongside Kieran Achara, and two teams who already secured their spots in the Cup quarterfinals last week and who met just 45 hours or so ago. Giants oh so comfortable in winning 95-58 out Bellevue on Friday night. The margin of victory putting them right on course to finish top of Group 2. They have a 3-0 record. The Rocks 2-1. Cheshire out of it in this group, having lost all 4 of their games. But with the British Basketball League due to start next weekend, value in every performance right now. Kieran alongside me. Giants on Friday executed so well at both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively.
Yes, just very physical. They were very physical, out-muscled the Rocks and got away early, and that was the game early on.
20 points apiece for Lyle Hexham, Breon Brady. The Rocks led by 17 from David Mpondo. Tonight, you would think they need to come out much more locked in than they were then.
They have to, definitely. Not only that, I feel that they have to pick up the ball early in the pressure. You know, like I said, I think the Giants have an advantage down low. So the only way to stop that is to not allow the ball to get down low. So they're going to have to put a little bit more pressure at the guard position, hopefully get some steals and slow the game down a little bit.
You were talking there just to Giants owner Jamie Edwards. You go back with them a long time. It really feels more than just a logo transformation, more than just a makeover. It really feels like a club that's genuinely transformed this year.
I know how important this is to Jamie. He's been plotting away for the last 20 plus years. He's passionate about Manchester basketball. I know he'll have them right where they need to be. He'll have the players believing, and not only that, it's going to be a team effort, a whole community feel to this. So it's great to see the Giants in this position, and I hopefully, I know that they will continue to grow.
The great thing, I had a quick chat with Danny Byrne, shouting at each other from the 2 different zones that we have inside here to make sure we stayed apart. But he said the great thing for him this year, and this is his 4th year as coach. Last year almost loss after loss after loss. This year not a huge increase in budget, but what he has done, in his words, been able to wheel and deal to get better players in. They can practice twice a day now. Makes a huge difference. You know, he's still teaching at a university 2.5 days a week, but he said that you think that extra professionalism, you know, just having a setup you would expect of a club, really is probably the biggest difference.
Well, we think about the negatives of COVID. The positives for COVID is specifically the BBL is it's allowed them to get some players that maybe wouldn't have they got in the past. You know, there's so much uncertainty. People are just happy to be getting opportunities. So I think because of that, getting the extra practice in, being a little bit more professional in their approach, is definitely going to help them leaps and bounds.
Yeah, the joke Danny said to me, many of his players living together in an 8-bedroom house. Obviously, as we've seen from Cheshire, a potential issue there for him. So, well, we keep on telling him every day, don't go out, be very careful, everyone's at stake. I guess for him, if Manchester stays in Tier 3, not a bad option for him whatsoever.
And, you know, I see the talk, especially from a professional perspective, talking about just go to training, just go back. I also think that can have a negative effect. But at the same time, it can be a positive one. It's a chance to bond with your teammates. But it's how they utilise that. As soon as some games start to lose, you know, you start bickering within that house, it can become a really hostile environment. So hopefully they stay on top of things, they continue to bond and keep going in the right direction. Yeah,
a real positive energy around Manchester Giants at the moment. The players all getting on, working hard for one another. Unbeaten, the club's best start since it came back into the BBL. So very much good times for Manchester Giants. We had a small technical issue, which is why we're tipping off slightly late here. The Rocks tonight, you know, they had 2 games against Cheshire who were short-handed. I think Friday night perhaps a shock to the system for some of those players. Where do you make adjustments if you're Gareth Murray tonight with the aim of being ready for the start of the league next weekend?
It's all about being better than you were last game. You know, for Gareth, especially from a coaching perspective, is really kind of honing in on the mistakes we made last game, silly turnovers, not boxing out, allowing Manchester to bully them down low. How do we make those adjustments? Are we going to front the post? Are we going to pressure the guards a little bit more? I'm looking to see a little shake-up. If they play like Friday night's game, it's going to be the same result. They're going to have to switch things up.
And now the players of both these teams taking the knee here at the Emirates Arena. Of course, as you would expect, behind closed doors, all the fans, you guys at home, watching from home, make sure you're cheering and making some noise, get your jerseys on, create a bit of atmosphere. It's not quite like being in the arena, but we'll try to get you as close to the action and give you a flavour of what it's like as we possibly can. This closed door thing, do you think we're ever going to get used to it?
Definitely not. It's just eerie. You know, it's I've been in some arenas. Don't get me wrong. Playing professionally in Bulgaria, some of these games were like this. And that's when there wasn't a pandemic. But yeah, it's a tough environment to play in.
The starters for Glasgow Rocks tonight, as you were from Friday night, Johnny Bunyan alongside David Mpondo in the backcourt, Fraser Malcolm and Julius Van Soers on the wings, Mark Coetti, they're big in the middle. As for Giants, well, Jack Hudson, their team captain, very impressive so far alongside Sam Cassell Jr., Lyle Hexham and Breon Brady, the 2 bigs, alongside Donovan Johnson, who does move into the starting lineup for the first time tonight. Danny Byrne telling us Alex Juandeye likely to be his 6th man going forward. And that depth, so vital for them this year, a real difference maker. The Rocks will play in teal blue this evening, Manchester in black. Your 3 officials in orange, Bart Rosinski, Chris Dodds and Graham Shaw. And of course Manchester, the last unbeaten team amongst all in the BBL competitions this season. And Giants looking for a first victory in Glasgow since they returned to the league in 2012. So a real informed team coming here tonight. Top spot theoretically in the cup group up for grabs, but for Giants going 100% would be a dream start. It is Glasgow Rocks up against Manchester Giants, and the first possession of the game falling the way of the visitors here. Sam Cassell, Raspberry and Pondo, they go down low to Hexon. Oh, solid defense there to stop. Breon Brady stopped in his tracks. Now in Pondo. Fraser Malcolm. Query up high where he does like to operate at times. Bunyan, the Rocks captain. Double team comes. Cross court pass. Shot clock at 5. Tough drive inside, and the first score of the game goes to David Mpondo.
Tough drive there to start, and you can see the Rocks, they want the ball to move. You know, I think 7 passes there on offense. You don't see that a lot now with a lot of teams that sort of dribble the ball. You know, silly. The Rocks want to move the ball, create space. Big shot there by Hexon.
Yeah, Niall Hexon, 20 points and 7 rebounds on Friday night.
It's a very interesting player, you know, very versatile. Looks to shoot, you know, can play the forward position, but can also play big. You know, he's an impressive pickup.
Malcolm, the cross-court pass to the corner, and the make. 5 quick points for David Mpondo. Rocks ahead again. Mpondo just 21 years of age, asserting himself early on here. Brady, the long 2, makes it. Even Stevens. Brady, those 2 quick fouls that he had on Friday, looking to stay out of foul trouble early tonight.
Just completely jinxed him there. Reckless foul.
His first, and that will put Mark Coetti onto the foul line for 3 attempts.
And this is something I've always, you know, as a teammate, having those players who play with such high energy, sometimes you just want them to be able to channel that a little bit better. You know, that was a reckless foul, there was no need for that, but the hustle was there. You know, he was determined to try and get a stop.
Coetti had a rough night shooting down in Manchester, just 2 of 10 from the field. An excellent couple of games against Cheshire to begin this campaign. It's one of those first 2, another to come. You talk about the silence, when you hear the feed of this game, as we do here in our headphones, a little buzz below it, which we don't normally notice when the fans are around just making noise. There are new times, fresh times. 2 out of 3. Rocks lead by 2.
And there's this pressure I was expecting. Really trying to put the pressure on the guards, slow it down. I think they're dropping back into zone, switching things up, keeping Manchester Giants on their feet.
And foul given away there as Donovan Johnson drove into the paint. First foul goes against Van Sewers. Jack Hudson guarded by Bunyan, a great battle that was on Friday. Catch and shoot from Cassell doesn't come off. Giants get a second bite of the cherry. Malcolm with the rebound. Hudson stopping the break in its tracks.
Again, I'm loving watching Brady at the moment. He's like I mentioned earlier on, that energy he plays with. You know, he's causing a lot of problems for Rocks. Every single shot goes up, he's there for an offensive rebound. You
can see the chemistry we have from playing with Niall Hexon those couple of years when they were together in junior college. Instant tandem, 1-2 punch. And Pondo, the change of pace. Late call on the foul. But it is that acceleration from Mpondo that is causing teams problems.
It's actually frightening to see. He's very, very explosive. You know, we were watching France the other night with the GB. You could see how explosive some of those French players are. So it's maybe something in the water. Yeah,
Great Britain with that tough loss to France on Friday night. Good start, just to keep you up to date with that game. Eurobasket qualifiers, of course, in Pau. And GB up 25-14 with a couple of minutes left against Montenegro in the first quarter. Game GB really need to win after France beat Germany earlier in the day. Pondo's second doesn't go. And draw scores with 6. Johnson. David Ulf has checked in for the Giants for the first time this evening. Fraser Malcolm for 3. Bounces out. Rebound to Cassell. Jack Hudson. A kick pass. Ulf tries to the tip in. Second one doesn't go. Johnson, third attempt doesn't go. Hudson like a hawk.
That looks like an ankle injury there.
Came down awkwardly there. Great piece of hustle.
That's Ulf. But yeah, Manchester's energy. I mean, they're getting second, third, fourth opportunities.
And credit to Jack Hudson, and came in last season. Danny Bernard wanted him to come there for 2 or 3 years. Eventually they prized him away from Liverpool, and one of those players, he did that small spell in the BBL with Mersey Tigers several years ago as it is now, but you know, you look at sometimes the talent that we have in this country, sometimes it is about being in the right place at the right time and getting the opportunity to shine.
Yeah, and I've seen that, you know, this year there's a few players making the jump. You know, I even talk about Lewis Champion a couple of years ago when he first went to Bristol. He made an instant impact, and you know, they're out there. It's just getting those opportunities can be very, very difficult at times. And I think now we're starting to see the pathways and creating them a little bit more. The more visual things get, you know, more games are now shown, live streamed and stuff. It's giving people an opportunity to actually see some of these players come up.
Yeah, Hudson dividing his time between basketball and working as a young solicitor in his home city of Liverpool, and laying down the law on that rebound.
As you do.
Ulf has shrugged that off. Still on the floor, Rocks up by 1. Pondo yet again. So quick. Foul on Hudson, his second.
And I liked that what Hudson did. He got in Bunyan's, you know, didn't give him any space for a handoff. He's disrupting the play, disrupting the Rocks' rhythm.
Shot clock at 10. Lob pass inside towards Van Sawyers. Foul, yeah, again.
Something people tend to neglect is the off-the-ball movement. Van Sawyers did a great job there, just sealing, getting good position. In other words, he was going to either catch the ball or get fouled. And that's something that people neglect these days, actually creating angles to get the pass. Everyone always thinks about the extra pass, making this, making that. But actually, the work you have to do to get the spacing, get the timing right, get the seal right, to get those opportunities.
Interesting to see there, Gareth Murray just saying, right, Julius is at the foul line, everyone else huddle over here. A lot of this season is going to be about teaching.
Yep, and they're going to drop back probably into their press here. What they've done now is on the free throw, they're disrupting the Giants. They're picking them up, not really looking to take the ball, just slow them down, drop back into the zone, and make the Giants think about what they're going to do in offense.
Travelling is the call there. Sterling defensive work there from Mpondo.
And right now the Giants haven't realised that the Rocks are going into that zone and they're not getting to their zone offense quick enough. But knowing Gareth Murray, I know they might have a few passes in that zone and then drop into man-to-man just to completely disrupt the Manchester Giants' flow.
Mpondo, step back, aerial shot, drives in, 8 points he has, leads all scorers, and Rocks with a 5-point lead. Much a different look from 2 nights ago for the Rocks. Hudson, Bunyan in his way, they go to Cassell on the wing. Gets enough room to step back, buries it.
That's a tough finish. And a fun fact for you, Sam Cassell Jr.'s father was actually an alumni at my old prep school with me and Mike Tuck. He's one of the legends that went to Main Science Institute.
Unlike you, he won 3 NBA titles.
Well, I lost in 3 BBL Cup finals. So.
Bunyan, long, true from 3.
The captain steps up, composed, steps into the shot, no pressure, 3 ball.
Likes that step back, Sam Cassell.
And he likes that mid-range. You know, he creates that space, gets to his spot. He's very comfortable with that shot.
Pondo into traffic. No room to go there. Floater from the downtown for Hexham. Giants within 2. Halfway through this opening period.
And there's that Van Zeurs again, another great seal for the and 1.
Dutchman finding the spot, his teammates finding him there. And the finish, and a chance for the 3-point play.
Hexham at the moment, he's fallen asleep. So he's allowing Van Zeurs to get that seal. You know, when you're battling down low, you always have to be anticipating when's the offensive player going to step in and try and create his space, move your feet, get back in front. He's allowing them to get that seal and making his life really, really tough. Once that ball is caught, it's either going to be a foul or an easy basket.
Alex Juan Diaz on the floor for the Giants for the first time this evening as Van Zeurs makes it a 3-point play.
Manchester still just not playing their zone offense. I don't know if they have one at this moment in time. They're trying to stay within their man-to-man offense, and it's just not working. You know, they're just swinging the ball with nowhere to go.
And Pondo had the room for a 3. Instead they go to Van Zeurs. I suppose that players like Van Zeurs right now, there are nights where if you establish yourself early, you just want the ball.
Yeah, and that's what I believe the Rocks need to have. They need to have players who want the ball. You know, we're very reliant in the past from a Glasgow Rocks perspective of just, you know, playing the offense, just moving the ball, but sometimes someone just needs to be given the ball, they're hot, just go to work.
GB up 28-19 at the end of the first period in Po tonight against Montenegro. Fine start. Van Zeurs misses the second. He's extended. Cassell guarded by Bunyan. Hudson finds the lane, gives it to Ulf, drops it in.
Ulf seemed to shake off his injury. I would have been out for 2 weeks for that one.
At your age, yeah. Aerial 3 from Mpondo doesn't fall. Swing past to Cassell, backs down Mpondo. Feed inside, the finish. Terrific take from Lyle Hexham.
That was a great dish. But that started for me with Mpondo's miss. You know, that's one of those rhythm shots, an easy layup by Manchester, followed by a really tough 3, which he missed, giving Manchester an advantage in the rhythm.
5 points in the game for Johnny Bunyan. Keeps the Giants at bay for now. No go for 3 there. Foul in the midst of all that, though. And the Giants are in the bonus now as David Ulf picks up his first foul, which will allow Kuwaiti to head to the line. This really were the depth of the Giants for Danny Byrne coming in this year. You know, last year, if they'd picked up this many fouls early in the game, it was a very short rotation. It would have been catastrophic. Not what you want as a coach, but there is a bit of wiggle room now.
Definitely, and as a player you have to adapt to that as well. you know, being able to use your fouls tactically, just kind of slow the rhythm of the game.
Pondo kicks it out of bounds.
The Glasgow Rocks have had a lot of success after every free throw attempt they've had. You know, that kind of fake press, kind of slow the game down, dropping back into the zone. Manchester have yet to capitalise after the Rocks have made free throws.
Tough score there for Wande.
And that was great defence there, but the composure there by Wande was phenomenal.
Hook off the glass. 4 points the difference in the last 2 minutes of the first period here at the Emirates Arena.
Hexham's really stepping up his defence now, he's anticipating it.
Turnover there, Ulf is cleared, throws it down. Dear Ulf, he had a double-double on Friday. 8 points, 10 boards.
And that's with a gammy ankle, that's impressive. Great movement.
Terrific cut there from Van Sewers. Every time Manchester look to draw clear, Rocks survive and pull clear once more. Hexham all the time in the world, can't take advantage though. Can Malcolm shorten that attempt into the last minute of this opening period? Hexham open once more. 3-point attempt. Won't fall. Checking in for Glasgow for the first time, Issa Brandon. First minute on the court. Off the bench for Jordan Whelan from Manchester Giants. Jack Hudson finally taking a breather after a fine first period.
It's always interesting to see when a player talks to a referee in a civil manner, how they respond. So I'm curious to see if Hexham picks up a foul now for the physicality he's playing down with Van Sewers now down low.
Coetti for 3, makes it. Mark Coetti stretching Glasgow's advantage. Seen already this season hard. Formidably, it's now steal by Glasgow. The break. Van Sewers lays it in. He's got 10 points now. Game high. 7-0 run. Shot clock is off. Manchester possession. Cassell with the ball in his hands. Coetti guards. Took the foul.
And that was a great foul there by Coetti. He knew exactly what he was doing. Run the clock down, pick up a little foul. Manchester not in the bonus. Now they get the chance to regroup.
1.9 seconds left. Only the second foul against Glasgow Rocks so far. Wande will inbound. Hexham gets the shot off. Doesn't go though. And what a transformation from 2 nights ago. The Rocks coming out with a real fight about them this afternoon. After 1 quarter here in the BBL Cup at the Emirates Arena, it is Glasgow Rocks leading Manchester Giants 30-21. And Gareth Murray, I think, will be most satisfied about the application of the players defensively there.
Definitely, and that's the Gareth Murray I know. He is a tactician. He's focused on what we can do to disrupt the game. He's not going to allow Manchester to play the exact same way as he did last time. He's made a few adjustments, especially after free throws dropping back into that zone. It's really caused Manchester problems. So yeah, it's exciting to see, and it's great that the players have responded.
Just to bring you up to date with all the other results around the BBL this week. And Friday night, the Raiders winning 59-57 at Worcester. A double defeat for the Wolves, beaten last night as well, 76-72 at Surrey. This afternoon, a game of real consequence for the two teams here. Newcastle beating Sheffield 90-79. That puts Eagles top of Group 3. Leicester in second. If the Riders stay there, they'd host the Rocks in the quarterfinals. That's assuming the Rocks don't win by 38 today. Who knows the way things are going right now. Manchester will host the runner-up in Group 1, which will be Surrey. and those ties on the weekend of 8th to 11th of December. Of course, in the BBL Championship next weekend, the big tip-off. These two sides will meet once again Sunday afternoon at Bellevue, a 5 p.m. start. And as it stands, it will be available on the BBL's new streaming service, BBL Player. If you want the details of that, head to bblplayer.co.uk for more details. Giants tip-off, though, comes before that Friday night, their first game in the Championship at Bristol Flyers, a 7:30 tip-off. You can watch that exclusively on Flyers TV for the princely sum of $4.99 for their Game Pass. You want to find out how to get it? Go to bristolflyers.co.uk. Second half here, and Giants with a 9-point deficit against Glasgow. In Pondo, 3, a little too much on that. Malcolm battles for the board. Jump ball is called though. Possession arrow in favour of the Giants.
Another thing to take into account for Manchester Giants, this is their first real road trip. You know, they've had their game against Cheshire, it's just, you know, up the road. Coming to Glasgow is a tough trip.
Stolen away, and Van Suras couldn't quite keep it in bounds. Plenty of heart and hustle from the host this afternoon. Verdict on this new teal kit?
I think it's a lot better than what Surrey's was a couple of years ago.
And Twitter immediately melts down.
Just joking.
The officials just clarifying on the side here. Cassell will inbound. Of course, his father following Doc Rivers onto the staff of the 76ers after a few years as his assistant at the Clippers. Slam! What a play from Lyle Hexham.
And that was such a threaded pass there by Cassell as well. That was a well-ran play.
Pondo spun but lost it. Cassell, neat dribble, goes all the way, now hands it off. Malcolm intercepts, Rocks with the break, 3-on-1. Pondo gets it and the bonus.
And that's a tough finish. I thought he was going to thread a little behind the back pass. I think Van Suras was running the floor, or maybe it was Brandon actually. But yeah, tough finish and one. But that's what I talk about, the rhythm of the game. Turnover at this end, turnover at that end, finish down that end, attack the basket. And
lots of composure under pressure.
And that's the one thing I'm still trying to work out. You know, Pondo as a player, he's so aggressive, so fast, but sometimes he gets a little bit out of control. That was so much better there, very composed.
Boban back Jack Donnelly onto the floor for the first time this evening for Glasgow. Points to prove after Friday night. Struggled with the shooting at Bellevue. Poitier for 3, doesn't go. Board into the hands of Van Suras.
And that was a good shot. I can see now Manchester, they do run a zone offence, it just wasn't executed right there. But Hexham now got that good screen at the top of the key, leaving their shooters open.
Another 3 for Glasgow, the biggest lead of the game, 12 now. Whelan carves through the lane, makes it. Jordan Whelan, tough score.
Great finish. I really like Whelan as a player. We talk about composure, I think he's very composed, good defender, and makes tough finishes.
He's learnt a lot from those 2 years he's just spent in Germany. Well, a heave shot there from Hexham won't fall. doesn't go either. Cassell. Guarded by Van Soers. First foul going against Boban Jack Donmy. Jack Hudson checked back in for Manchester. And Gareth Murray makes his first appearance of the evening for Glasgow, replacing Fraser Malcolm.
And that's Donovan Johnson on as well for Hexham. They really are a lot deeper this year.
Hudson double teamed. Drive into the lane by Juan Diet. Garners the foul. Which goes against Isa Brandon, his first. Murray not playing until the second quarter. He played more minutes on Friday than he had played against Cheshire in the 2 previous games. Is that necessary for him as a coach, or is there a danger that you lose the impact of having a veteran on the floor with his experience?
I think it's such a difficult one. You know, I'm sure Gareth is trying to work it out what he's most comfortable with. But the coaching him, he wants to see the floor, see what's going to happen in the game. But then at the same time, from an impact, what he can actually bring to that team, you know, I think he's maybe kind of sacrificing that a little bit. But you know, the Glasgow are going to need him for a lot of the stretches in these games, especially when the regular season starts. He's going to be needed, so he's going to have to try and find his rhythm somehow.
Brandon almost carrying inside there.
I'm so curious to see. You know, both teams have been attacking the basket really aggressive, but it's direct lines to the basket. I don't know why the players are not stepping up and just taking charges. That's me talking about the good old days when you take a charge, but you know, I think there's too much reaching right now, and people have to really kind of step up, get in the lane and take a charge.
Issa Brandon at Lamb makes the first one, that foul against Jordan Whelan. Two for two. Advantage returns to double figures. Juan Diet to Hudson. Low pass. Both couldn't quite finish. The thought behind that solid though.
Yeah, and that's it. They've now adapted to the zone. They know what's coming after the free throws. They know what's coming. What they try and do is they try and pick up the big work in the middle of the floor, try to set some screens on the guard to disrupt them to get a 3-point shot. But at the same time, it's leaving the back exposed as well. So that lob is there.
And Sears draws yet another foul.
He's been doing so well with that. You know, that's 4 or 5 times really working on that seal, getting position.
Third foul on Donovan Johnson, quite critical. And he will go to the bench instantly. Replaced by Lyle Hexham, who didn't get quite the rest perhaps that he was looking for. Foul before the shot. Bunyan on the end line. An offensive foul is called amongst the rubble.
It's just funny, you just compliment a player for the work they're putting to get the seal, get that position, and then they get called for the offensive foul the next play.
Van Soer's second. A rush of blood to the head. Chance forced to switch. Whelan blocked by Brandon. End line ball from Manchester Giants. Juan the lefty. Too much on it. Murray with the board. Cross court to Brandon. Donny sets the screen. Wanted the return, said they go. Van Sosa gets it to Jack Donmy inside. The floater is in.
And that's beautiful basketball. Jack Donmy working the paint, doing exactly what Van Sosa was doing earlier on. Not receiving the pass straight away, but continuously fighting for position.
Oh, endeavours of keeping it in. Almost forced a turnover, and now, after all that, Giants ball.
And Jack Donmy there stepping up and taking a charge. They must hear me here at this moment in time. But yeah, it's great movement by the Glasgow Rocks. I need Manchester to step up from a big position that was most dominant the last game. They're allowing the bigs of Glasgow to get their steals, get those positioning. That should never happen. You can't do the work on the catch. You have to do the work before the catch.
Mark Query in for Van Soers. Hexham guarded by Murray. Continues, floated off the glass. Too long though. Not Query. Pulls the three. Oh, string. Wrong side of the iron out.
I was going to say, he's very versatile. Brings the ball up the court straight to a jump shot. Held his follow through as well. It looked good.
Blandier, defensive switch on. They look for Ulf low. Picked off though, Bunyan. Danny Byrne signals he wants as a timeout. As his team trail by 13 midway through the second period. Coetti, opportunity to extend. Short, Ulf with the board.
I really love Brandon's movement there. He was missed. He faked like he was screening away, attacked the basket. Query just missed him. And that was a veteran move there by Ulf. When you have a player trailing you and you're running at speed, they're right behind you. If you just put your foot on the brakes, hopefully the player comes into the back of you, pick up the foul.
13 points the difference. What's Danny Byrne's message to his team now?
Danny Byrne's message is you're playing complacent. You're playing like you just won a game by 38 points. And sometimes it's false hope. You've kind of got it. Yeah, this is easy. We know what we're going to get. The Rocks have thrown a completely different look at them tonight, and they're just not as comfortable. I'd mentioned the drive up after a 38-point win. Quite a long drive. You're very, very comfortable. Right now, they have to get back to basics. Attacking the basket, get the shots up, and attacking the glass relentlessly. That's the only way they're going to get back into this game.
For the Rocks, though, what's nice is that backcourt that they have. They've got lots of options, all quick, all speedy, not super fast, but they're all prepared to be aggressive at both ends of the floor, getting into the paint at one end, at the other end, making the switches if they need to go under screens. They're doing it. There's that alertness there amongst that group.
Yeah, they're playing some with Query and Jack Donmy playing together. They're switching all the ball screens, so they're getting different looks, different movements. It's very hard to penetrate. But offensively right now, Pondo came in with the energy earlier on, really attacking the glass, attacking the paint. But then it's been Van Soers, Query, Jack Donmy. They're getting seals down low, getting Manchester into foul trouble, which happens every time. When you get to the free throw line, you're getting to set up defensively every single possession. That makes it very hard to play against because you're always set up. So they're doing everything right at the moment in time.
Half time in that Eurobasket qualifier in Po, Great Britain 40, Montenegro 37 at the half. Still going GB's way, 18 points so far for Gable Ascending. The game high. Domestic matters on the table here. Drive inside for Cassell, won't fall. Murray gathers.
And that was a great take. Unfortunate with the finish, but then they were relentless on the glass as well.
Travelling is called against Boban Jack Donmy. Had that spell and he came to GB under 20 cap about 4 years ago. Lots of promise, but sometimes that difficulty. He did well at college in the States, 9 starts in his senior year. There is that adjustment period sometimes for players when they come back to this country.
It's very, very difficult. It's a different game at times. And off the court too, you don't have the luxury that most have in college basketball as well.
Still plenty of time, still lots of promise. Hexham with the take inside. Someone struggling to finish at the basket in this first half. Yakomi on the charge. Can't make it, no foul called. Hudson breaks. Helps recover well defensively. And a foul on the floor there.
When I talk about stepping up and taking a charge, when Jack Donmey's going through the lane at that speed, I'm not taking a charge. That's one you can actually move out of the way. But Sam Cassell Jr., he did the right thing, stood his ground and forced up a really tough shot.
Off at the line, Murray, his first foul. Not generally particularly prolific from the free throw line. Really bulked up though in the off season. Wanted to come back this year with more muscle and more power. 1 of 2 from the line.
Well, it was a longer off season with a lot of
nothing else to do. Brandon for 3, way out.
And that's like when someone like myself is thinking that is a bad shot and it goes in, and you give the claps and say good shot.
Do you want to be a coach?
Definitely not.
Coetti throws it down.
And that's a great finish. Stepping up, taking the energy, bringing the energy every single play now.
17-point lead in this first half. Perhaps top spot in this group is not yet decided. Second foul against Coetti. In this quarter, the Rocks quickly into the bonus. Hexham at the line. Had that short spell in NBA Summer League last year with the Memphis Grizzlies. And then a very brief spell pre-lockdown in the Swedish League with Djurgården. But Manchester offering him the stage to truly establish himself as a professional. Went to an NIAA school, which normally does put you out of the spotlight, but enough teams like what they did there to bring him into NBA Summer League.
Well, he's got great size, good energy, and like I said, he's a versatile player. He's a really good fit specifically for the BBL.
Knocks that one down as well, 2 for 2. 3 minutes left in the second period as Fraser Malcolm comes back on for Glasgow. 15-point gap. Absolutely not insurmountable for Manchester. Quick ball movement in the perimeter here for Glasgow. Brandon has it. Crossover looks to create some room for himself. Swing pass to Murray in the corner, the catch and shoot. Just too long. No, Hexham at the other end. Floater. Cassell in the corner. Long once more. Pressure coming full court from Hudson. Brandon shrugs it off. Jack Donnelly plays interference, takes the pass inside. Off the glass, finishes. 4 points he has. Rocks continuing to excel.
And still, every time they roll into the basket, they're getting good position. But there's no fight there for Manchester Giants at all down low. Unfortunately, it was Whelan got stuck with him down low. He didn't want any of that.
Second bite of the cherry. Won't go for Cassell. Travelling call against Jack Donnelly. Alex Wandier replacing Jordan Whelan. 1:49 to go in this first half. Hudson sets the screen, now finds himself open. Floated past it, Wandier, too much on it, keeps it in bounds. Somehow at the end of that, Cassell got it. Brandon with the foul. Needless foul when your team's in the bonus in that position. Kieran Achara is shaking his head, tutting away silently.
It's one of those ones that, you know, you're proud of the hustle. That they're working really hard, wanting that ball.
I sense a but coming here.
But it's just needless. I think there was 2 seconds on the clock there. It just didn't need to happen.
Cassell makes the first. 1 of 2. Manchester Giants 5 of 8 from the foul strip in this contest. And Rock shooting 57% from the field tonight. Manchester just 35. But a second foul against Gareth Murray.
And as a coach, you know, seeing that missed box out there, you know, some coaches would sub that player off, but when it's actually the coach, it's actually forgets the box out again.
That's that tough part though, which, you know, Fab Vanoy, I think, always had that trick that he always held himself accountable as a player, and that's possibly the toughest trick you can do as a player coach. Yeah,
but to have the self-awareness to be able to do that as well must be very, very difficult.
Well, that's from a man who made his own toothpaste. You know, we know what the talents of Fab Vanoy are. Nick Nurse speaking very highly about his imprint, building an NBA coaching career in Toronto. Bunyan on the wing. Double team comes. Bunyan stays clear. He's got the pass off. Shot clock ran down. Manchester on the break. Up and under from Hexham won't fall. Rock's ball. Good recovery defensively there in the paint.
Yeah, and it was great to see, like, Hudson putting the pressure on Bunyan earlier on. You know, the Rocks got forced into a shot clock violation there just because the pressure was put on early doors. They didn't get to run their offense whatsoever.
Murray, long pass to Jack Donnelly. Wolf on his way, backs him down, floater off the glass, won't go.
That was a good move there by the big fella.
Plan D8. Hand off to Hudson, who will run this play. Shot clock at 10. Unfortunate there from Jack Donnelly, just caught him as he went past.
And I've seen that now 3 times. He's either been very slow getting back after the hedge, or he's just getting a little bit, you know, too enthusiastic and causing that little foul there. So it's a tough one. I was terrible when it came to hedge defence. I much preferred the switch.
The consequence of that, as Hudson gets 2 opportunities to claw back this lead. Rocks as much as 17 in front. Hudson, 4 in the game. Shot clock is now off, the gap just 12. Last possession potentially now of this second quarter in the BBL Cup. Mempondo. Bunyan on the wing, guarded by Cassell. 5 to play. Strip from Hudson, he'll have to lob it. Nearly. Good alertness, wouldn't fall. But all in all, having led by 17, the Rocks will still relatively be pleased to lead by 12 at the break.
Definitely be pleased, but at the same time, Manchester Giants will be happy to get claw back into that game. You know, you always kind of have that mindset, let's try and get down to single digits, but 12 points is nothing in this contest. So I'm excited for the second half.
For Danny Byrne, you know, top spot in this group is probably okay, bar a major collapse in the second half. They play Bristol and Glasgow next weekend. Do you want at some point to try 1 or 2 things out?
I would definitely be trying things out, but trying things out to win the game. So I'm looking at time management I'm looking at putting the press on, kind of getting these different kind of feels for things, and only showing glimmers of that. If it's successful, you don't even have to stay with it. Just to kind of get out there, because you kind of go back to the scout and say, this was what worked for us. We only did it in a small spell. How do we start the game this way? Maybe next time. So maybe don't want to give too much away, but at the same time, you want to experiment and see where you're at. It's still so early in the season. You have to find a way to kind of change the rhythm up, change the game up, and have different looks.
Giants, the only unbeaten team in British basketball this season. That record, though, under threat. 20 minutes left, however, for them to do something to keep that streak alive. At the half here at the Emirates Arena, it is Glasgow Rocks 46, Manchester Giants 34. We'll be back with you for the second half very, very soon. And it's a very warm welcome back to the Emirates Arena here on this Sunday afternoon, where Glasgow Rocks are leading the Manchester Giants 46-34. Kieran Achara's alongside me. We're passing up and dancing at half-time, but the Rocks are skipping along very nicely here.
Definitely. I'm thinking about the game first half. The big sticking out point for me was Breon Brady. Van Seurs did a great job earlier on, getting some good strong position, picking him and getting him into foul trouble, and I think that's changed the whole rhythm for them. Their energy attacking the glass and so forth. So I'm excited to see the second half, to see if Breon Brady brings that same impact like he did on Friday night.
Yeah, the big scorers so far, Lyle Hexham leading all with 13 for Manchester Giants. The Rocks paced by 12 from Van Seurs. Shooting percentage very, very different. Glasgow 55% from the field, 4 of 10 from 3-point range. Giants 34% from the field, just 1 of 11 from 3-point range.
And they've had some good looks as well, but like I said, when it's off, the rhythm's been off. I was saying that the Rocks really, really affected them earlier on when they went back into the zone after every free throw attempt. And I just think, Manchester lost their rhythm.
What do you need to do to get that back? Is that a tactical thing? Is it a mental thing? Is it about one player, perhaps Jack Hudson, perhaps Sam Cassell, saying, right, time to lead here?
The way the game started, they ran a play for Breon Brady earlier on, got him a touch. He was unfortunate he missed it at early doors, but I think that's what they have to do. They have to go and become enforcers down low again, really get the ball inside. And once things start clicking there for the bigs, then the ball starts moving a little bit better and the shots are made. Another thing that kind of happened was Hexham made a 3 earlier on, and Brady then followed up with a jump shot. Sometimes as a big player, you kind of get that rhythm, you're hitting outside shots, you start to settle. And I think that's exactly what happened with the Giants earlier on.
Here we are underway, the Rocks in teal blue, Giants in black. Third period. Hondo, who was so strong early on. Bunyan. Hands it off to Malcolm. Shot clock at 10. Bunyan find himself in the room, the spin, and it goes, Johnny Bunyan. Lots of confidence in the Rocks captain.
So composed as well.
7 points he has. Sam Cassell Jr. Absolutely energetic. Hexham Hudson. Pass pushed away. Breon Brady has it, left hand hook, goes in, 1 second in the shot clock. Alertness there, perhaps listening to Kieran Achara. 4 points now for the American.
And that's just the same thing from the first half to the second half. Van Seurs just fighting down low, getting good position, and drawing Manchester to commit fouls.
Second of those on Hexham this afternoon. Movement from Glasgow, lob inside, Van Seurs with a cut, makes it. Great pass from Malcolm though.
I'm really impressed with Van Seurs' movement off the ball. Like I mentioned earlier on, he's quite a smart player.
Jack Hudson for 3. One go, crash to the floor. Bit of pain there for Donovan Johnson. Will be an end-line ball. Van Seurs' third foul. Cassell, the inbounder. Hexham finds some room in the lane there, couldn't finish. Giants reset. Shot clock back at 10. Low pass inside. And there, something we talked about a lot in the second half. Breon Brady inside. Charging foul called. Brady picks up his third.
And that was an interesting one there, because Breon Brady did get good position earlier on. Van Seurs actually pulled him back earlier on to get that position. So it could have went either way. But smart heads-up play there by Van Soers. He was on 3 fouls. Brady's on 2 now. They're both on 3 fouls. That could have went the other way, swung very quickly, and Van Soers would have had to sit out.
Danny Byrne evaluating on 2 feet from the sidelines. He's an assistant this season. Pluto Verolitis, former BBL legend back in the day, taking his first steps into the coaching sphere. He's Giants number 2. Fans of Sheffield Sharks will remember him fondly.
Oh, that was nice there by Pondo.
Malcolm, the beneficiary, knocks down the 3. Rocks quietly extending the lead here. Malcolm's first score of the game. Running shot from Brady off the glass.
Another interesting fact, I found out that Fraser Malcolm's actually been training through in Falkirk because he's been missing sessions during the day because he's got teaching. Nice probation here as a teacher, so nice to finding a way to kind of balance both and still committed to getting working on his game.
Bunyan with 9 points. I thought you were saying that Fraser Malcolm was on probation. I hadn't heard that story before. Teaching, that's what it is. Casal from the corner, won't go. Rebound, won't fall for Donovan Johnson. Draws the foul though. Goes against Fraser Malcolm, who picks up his first. The Rocks during the week. The news that Ali Fraser decided to come back from France, signing for Leicester Riders. Gareth Murray admitted, we did make him an offer, but we did worry other clubs would offer him more, and he's down at Riders now.
Money talks, as they say, but no, it's a great pickup there for the Leicester Riders, and I know that he'll make a huge impact there.
Another player who's been balancing the second job against basketball for a while now. Hasn't done him any harm. 2 for 2 there from the line. 15-point the difference. And Hondo. And Sears comes to help instead. They go cross court to Kouedi. Bunyan, 6 on the shot clock. And Pondo stripped away. Giants on the break. Hexham. Oh, for some patience. Lob pass inside. And go. Too ambitious, perhaps.
It was great work there by Malcolm. You know, he was fighting the front, making sure that he got into Brady's legs, so he had nowhere to go.
Malcolm got up, got the foul off Hexham as he came down. High five from his teammates, heads to the line.
And that's another shake your head moment for me. I hate to see players leave their feet so early on a jump shot.
Well, eventually called a non-shooting foul, sideline ball. Hudson with constant pressure on Bunyan this afternoon. It's a nice battle between them and Friday night. Kouedi, 3 balls long. Good work from Malcolm, resets. Bunyan for 3, nails it, Johnny Bunyan.
Just getting the job done. I think he's 100% from the floor tonight.
12 points for the Rocks captain, Marvel. 11th season with the Rocks. Looked about 14 when he started. Still does. Here he is again. Can he make it 2 in quick succession? Not quite. Manchester need a spurt here. Jordan Wheeling preparing to come on. Brady, good composure, took his time. Off the glass and in.
And Van Soers playing very aggressive defence. You know, to be on 3 fouls, to be that aggressive. You know, it's he has to really watch.
Hondo goes under Cassell with the reverse.
Tough finish by the young fella.
13 in the game for Paris's finest. Rumble underneath will be The Rocks ball.
I've been really impressed with Mpondo's defence. He's been doing a great job on Sam Cassell Jr. Just disrupting his rhythm. The shots that Sam Cassell Jr.'s made, they've all been very, very tough finishes. You're not going to win games just making tough finishes for 40 minutes.
No go for Glasgow there. Hudson from Manchester under some pressure. Turnover once more. The Rocks have numbers. Kick out to the corner. Long one from Kouedi. Misses its mark. Jordan Whelan on from Manchester. He could do with some energy off the bench. Scoop shot, one go.
Oh, that looked a sore one. Mpondo can get up as well.
Foul against Johnny Bunyan. Picks up his first.
I think you could call for unsportsmanlike there. Push on the back.
And a timeout is called, so the coaches can talk it over. Manchester up by 18.
It's interesting. I think the Rocks are up by 18 to be fair, but
a very good point.
But it looks, to me right now, observation-wise, it just looks like the Rocks are in better shape than Manchester Giants. And again, you have to factor in that journey. For a lot of players travelling on a game day, it's a unique experience. So. There's a lot to adapt to that, but yeah, the Rocks just look in great shape. I actually heard they've been working out with former Rocks player Scotty Russell, so it's good to see that the work he's putting in is paying off for the Glasgow Rocks.
Update from Po, Great Britain in good shape as well. They lead Montenegro 61-48, 5:49 in the fourth. Of course, the margin there, ideally they want to win by 8 and get head-to-head in that. And that, just one of a number of big games this week. This, the start of the BBL Championship season and a new era. Sky Sports clear schedule for Thursday evening. A double header from the Eagles Arena to tip off a slate of 30 live games this season. Cheshire against Sheffield at 4:30 on Thursday, followed by Newcastle against London. Both of those shown in glorious HD on Sky Sports main event and Sky Sports Arena. And you can join all the team, including the guy beside me, 4:30 on Thursday for those two games. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. Something completely new for me, so yeah, I'm really excited.
There's been some great promos on Twitter talking about the BBL buzz. Great to have Sky Sports back, screening top flight British basketball, including the final of this competition come January. Hexham at the line, 4 or 5 left in the third. Makes that as well.
And those free throws, it's funny to look at the game because you think, they're down 16, but that was actually a big free throws there, because the rhythm the Rocks were playing with, they could have pulled away this lead, 23, 24 points. Could be a very, very interesting finish to the game. The Rocks are still in contention, scared enough to get #1 spot in this group.
The game high 15 points. Giants still in possession. Brady won't go for him. Bunyan gets some pace. Close the screen. And Sewers goes solo. The kick out to Malcolm. Doesn't get there though.
And to me, that was Malcolm's fault. He should have stayed in the corner. Van Sewers made the drive. I know he jumped on the pass, but that's where he should have been. Gareth Murray just told him those exact words.
One perk of no crowd. You can hear a lot more. Whelan, pressurised by Mpondo. Ball inside, converted by Brody. sense a little momentum boost here for the visitors. Shouts of defense from their bench. Bunyan pulls the trigger, makes it. Johnny Bunyan, threes raining in.
I think Johnny just shouted defense there on that finish, but that's great to see from the Giants. Engaging on the bench.
Bunyan 3 of 4 from 3-point range now. What, 7th 3-pointer of the game. That the second though for the Giants. Downtown gets it, Van Sewers.
I think that chant's actually helping the Rocks. They're a little bit more focused. It feels like there's some fans in the arena again.
Yeah, there is some talk with the new tiers in England that Brady throws it in.
Throw it down, big fella. No, I'm quite interested to see, like I said, Van Sewers on 3 fouls, and no one's really kind of been attacking him on the defensive end. They haven't really been going at him. And
stripped away. Giants lose it though. Frustration on the face of Jordan Whelan. Luther Brandon returns for Glasgow. Alex Wandier checks in for the Giants. Yeah, interesting to see. We talk about no crowds. It's a new regulation in England. Some hope that under the tier system, Cheshire and Plymouth may be allowed to have a limited amount of supporters in before not too long. Every other part of the BBL seemingly destined to be shut out, including Glasgow under the very different Scottish rules. So if you're watching at home, I hope you're enjoying it. It's almost like being there. 10 in the shot clock and pulled through that aerial shot. Stars couldn't quite save. Hudson has it.
it's amazing what a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of positivity can do for a team. The energy right now of the Giants. You know, it now seems like the
Hexham for a long two.
Shot. It just seems like they've got an extra bounce in their step.
7-2 run for Manchester.
Oh, and that's him out of the game. And that was, that just wasn't needed. He jumped on the shot, caused the foul, then bites back. I think that's his.
Well, either way, his participation is over his 5th foul.
And that's just unacceptable. And that emotions do. When you're, like I'd mentioned earlier on, being an energy player, but that's, he was big, he was getting back into the game, jumped on that shot, gave Query a drive. It was a clear foul, and then bites back with the referee getting that technical.
Brady departs with 12 points, 4 rebounds, but his team a little weaker for that move as Gareth Murray calls his players over, or 4 of them at least, for a quick conflab as the table officials just make sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and then Mark Queddy will head to the foul line.
And we talk about basketball being a game of runs. I'm curious to see if the energy now drops from Manchester after that. Shots here by Queddy. Rocks get the ball back. Let's see if it calms them down.
Queddy 4 of 5 from the foul strip to date today. Giants very animated in the discussions at mid-court right now. Must recompose themselves. Time yet, with 1 minute left in this third quarter to make a comeback. his path blocked. Fourth foul against Lyle Hexham. Van Seurs makes it. 5 of 6 for the Dutchman from the line. Second one doesn't go though.
If I only knew this tactic by the commentator saying something, I would have been playing that whole game my whole career.
Why do you think you missed so much the last 2 years of your career? I kept mentioning it.
It actually was in the back of my mind. I blame Dan Routledge for that one.
Big corner score from Jordan Whelan. The gap is at 11. Couple of possessions left though in this period. Giants will look for a stop and a score, maybe to get into single figures. Coetti, switch, Brandon. Drives the lane, makes it, and will go to the line.
And that was a very, very great move there. You know, he had the shot. It's not been his strength the last couple of games. Was composed, took it to the rack, gets the foul. Now they get, like I said, they get to set back up defensively.
Jack Hudson's third foul. 10.6 seconds left. As Brian misses. Hexham, the creator now. Whelan alert to the clock. Under some pressure. I think has drawn the foul as he shot the three as time expired. Wait for confirmation from the officials.
See, it's 2 shots.
First foul by Mpondon. And Jordan Whelan will stand alone at the foul strip. Next, number 1. And number 2 as well. Jordan Whelan's personal tally now at 6. And after a third quarter in which both teams had moments to impress, it is the Glasgow Rocks leading Manchester Giants 68 to 57. Glasgow, I guess, I mean, you look at the 2 games they had against Cheshire, relatively comfortable. Game against Manchester on Friday, obvious early on, that was not going to be their night. I guess in a sense for Gareth Murray, this is a useful exercise now that you have a lead, you've got to protect it, there's a bit of pressure, there's the mind games coming. These next 10 minutes will tell him a lot about his team.
Yes, because you know Manchester, I'm just looking at Manchester right now, Sam Cassell Jr. over there riling the guys up. They're going to bring it this last quarter. You know, they're thinking about this whole undefeated kind of mindset, you know. So I know Manchester Giants are going to bring it. Glasgow, a lot of young players. If the pressure kind of comes up, it's going to be controlled essentially by the referees. How are they going to allow them to play? They're going to allow the contact. They're going to allow the little tacky fouls to go away. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how those young guys handle this situation and see if they rise to the occasion.
Is that what you need? A Johnny Bunyan, perhaps even a Gareth Murray on the floor to actually set an example? I mean, does Murray put himself out there because you know that he's great at composure, he's a wise old head? Or does he, again, step back and say, I'm going to challenge you guys to bring us in?
It's not only about challenging you guys, it's maybe he believes he can control it from the coach's position as well. You have to think about that. How do we, what offense are we going to run? Are we going to run ones that we're going to kind of get more touches? Are we going to throw a few little defensive kind of snags to kind of throw the Giants off their rhythm too? So there's a lot to think about out there. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. I know that Johnny Bunyan lives for these situations. He might rest him at the start and bring him in about a couple of minutes, see how the start of this fourth quarter goes.
Well, the momentum a little bit with Manchester. 11 points, we know in basketball, is absolutely nothing.
But watch Hexham being on the 4 fouls. That's something that I would definitely be attacking offensively. Pondo plays with such energy. A little stare down after the block.
Inbound from Malcolm. Brandon going to Vanseurs, nowhere to go. Travelling.
Great defense there by Johnson. It was either that or it was going to be a charge. So it was, you know, I think Vanseurs actually got lucky in that situation because he was in a real tough predicament.
Johnson goes all the way to the hoop. Can't finish though. Honda breaks at speed. Lost it a little there.
And a lazy pass.
Foul conceded. Just trying to make up for that mistake. Second foul against Mpondo. Bunyan returns after a brief respite.
And that's those little mistakes you make, young player. A lazy pass there, that's the first mistake, then he causes a foul straight after, not needed. 2 mistakes in a row, you know, sometimes it's unacceptable.
Just short, gets his own board. 10 in the shot clock. Boandier swing past to Hudson, wasn't quite ready for it. Regathers. Malcolm in his way, shoots over him. Almost got it.
That was smooth. They created some great separation for that shot.
Malcolm swings back. Turnover though for Glasgow.
Another lazy pass there.
Drive inside from Donovan Johnson, and Gareth Murray wants a timeout. The gap is down to just 9 points.
And we talk about fine margins. The ball movement was great. You know, the ball movement, but the passes, they just haven't been crisp. You know, a little bit lazy passes there. You know, I think it was Quaid at that time. Just didn't throw it with enough, you know, zip on it. Turnover, easy finish there. Now that's Giants crawling back into the game.
Is there a psychological thing there, really, when you've had a big lead, huge lead as Glasgow have had, and it gets below that double-figure mark?
It can happen, but sometimes you have to kind of think about what happened what happened on Friday. You know, you're down 38 points, now you're up 9. You're still in this game. It's just trying to forget about that play that just happened and focus on what you were doing previously. And that's why I think they've kind of lost their focus right now. I've even watched Issa Brandon. I'm curious to see when the ball screen's coming, he's not patient enough for the screen. He's making his move, he's just going through the motions. He has to be a little bit more patient, wait for a good solid screen to get set up, and every time they've come off that screen, good things have happened for the Glasgow Rocks with the role player. But they're not even getting in those positions right now because they're just a little bit anxious.
For Giants, the composure though has been much better in this second half, and it does illustrate, you know, the talent they've got. If they keep cool heads, good things happen.
I said this from the start. I know from a mindset perspective, Jamie Edwards will have them right where they need to be. They just want to go out there and compete. They took a knock, they kind of looked at what happened, and now they've just kind of bounced back with that energy off the bench, the support and the belief.
Lancers in traffic, won't convert. Long three, drained.
Young Whelan stepping up.
Brandon, the miss. Fraser though, alert to it. Ball falls into the hands of the Giants though. Another score. The gap at 4.
Landy, great footwork there.
9-0 run for the Giants. One-way traffic. Rocks under pressure. What response is there? Almost another turnover. Malcolm has room, pulls the trigger as the shot clock runs down.
The Glasgow Rocks have absolutely zero identity at this moment in time. They just do not know what they're doing, and they're just not matching the energy that Manchester Giants are playing with.
And another one drops. 2 points the difference. 11 unanswered now for the visitors. 6 minutes to play. Malcolm to Bunyan. Almost lost again. Brandon regathered. Malcolm, 5 in the shot clock. Had to take it, makes it. What a big 3 for Fraser Malcolm.
Big shot, and he nearly smiled as well. That was a big shot.
Well, the Rocks breathe just a little easier, just for a moment. And talking of breathing easier, Great Britain have beaten Montenegro 74-59 in Po this afternoon. Gabriel Laseni, game high 28 points, 15 for Miles Heston, 13 for Newton Nelson. GB take the head-to-head, very critical. Big win for GB.
Big win. So proud of the guys. Stepping up when they had to.
Bunyan from the corner for 3, nails it. Johnny Bunyan on fire tonight. Bunyan 4 of 5 from 3-point range. And the Rocks, having been under the cosh, extend their lead. Cut a little by Jordan Whelan. Brandon slashes to the basket, makes it.
And that was just too easy. Great take by the young fella, but you know the defense was. You know, I think sometimes when you're trying to claw back into the game, you're so fixated on offense, but you have to realise the only way you're going to get back into the game is by getting those stops.
Hexham, the step back, too long.
And that's better, a lot more patience there. Allow the ball to happen.
Kweli got the foul. Gareth Murray with instructions from the sideline, and Danny Byrne wants to talk it over as Jordan Whelan picks up his second foul. That will please Murray though. I mean, a big run there, 11 straight points. Gap at 2, and his team respond pretty quickly with a 8-0 run of their own.
And you know, when you've got shooters like Bunyan and Malcolm, Quady, the game can change very fast. You know, but at the same time, when you have shooters, the rhythm of the game is so important. The ball has to be moved in the correct way. You have to kind of penetrate, kick out. the Rocks kind of found the rhythm at the end of that little period.
Let's talk quickly about GB. They really needed to win that game. They really need to win big. Very poor game on Friday night against France, let's be honest about it. What a response, though.
You know, the guys believe in each other. You know, they trust in each other. They've had some success recently. They've found ways to win games. France is obviously a very, very tough challenge, but in the back of their minds, they probably had eye on the prize. It was all about this Montenegro game.
You wonder, though, the pressure that Montenegro, because France beat Germany earlier today, a win for Montenegro sent into the finals. So that puts in itself, sometimes there's good pressure and sometimes there's bad pressure, and you respond to it.
For sure, for sure.
Perhaps these one of the occasions where too much on it.
Definitely, and like I said, I watched that Germany game in Newcastle. I saw the belief they had then. They've obviously come out and played the exact same way tonight against Montenegro and found a way. But like I said, it all starts with that self-belief.
Well, Rocks, for a lot of this game, have been playing with ample self-belief. A little breathing room now. 8 points the gap. 4:11 left here at the Emirates Arena. Inline ball to the benefit of Glasgow. Third foul against Jordan Whelan. Kick out to Bunyan, feeds inside. Kuwedi knocked away.
That's a big foul there, Van Seurs. I think they got away with one. I think Kuwedi got hit in the arm going up.
Fourth foul against the Dutchman. Less than 4 to play now. Around by Fraser Malcolm. Travel, the result. Malcolm's lateral quickness, when he comes in like that, is such a good weapon.
Very good weapon, but it's his length as well. His arms cover so much ground, and he uses them to his advantage every time. And I think he's had about 6 or 7 deflections today, and 3 taps for offensive rebounds as well, which maybe doesn't go in the stat sheet as an offensive rebound, but keeps the Glasgow Rocks in the game.
One of the slight differences of having no crowd is you rely on lots of different people to get the ball back. In play again. Ran the look for the feed. Went to nowhere. Hexham. Cross court.
Big play, and that's that usual jumping to pass. Something the coaches always get on you. Say do not jump to pass. Do not jump to pass, and that's what happens usually when you do that.
Fifth foul against Lyle Hexham, who will take no further part in this game. He sits down with 20 points and 6 for 17 shooting. 4 rebounds. His team down by 8 as he heads to the bench. Donovan Johnson returns.
That's Van Seurs out the game.
It's not been an exceptionally physical game, but it has been an energetic game.
It's been a very energetic game. It started off physical earlier on. Like I said, I think Breon Brady, he kind of dictates that. He's relentless on the glass. Other players have just kind of been playing the game the right way. Van Seurs obviously was getting those steals earlier on, but then he got called for that offensive foul, which then changes your mindset a little bit too. So.
Series leaving us with 17 points tonight. Cassell, nowhere to go. Kwandier, too long. Gareth Murray, the rebound.
Glasgow Rocks are now switching everyone on defence. Everyone's kind of like the same size, other than young Bunyan, but it's really causing Manchester a lot of problems.
I love the way you still call him young man. I suppose he is younger than his dad, who's sitting not too far from us right now. Coetti, long. Cassell under some pressure, couldn't get it to go into the last 2 minutes of this game. Backs down Whelan, step back. Poitier spun out of nowhere. Rocks have a chance to break here. Not surely. And unsportsmanlike against Johnson. Brandon was up court lacking. Just wanted the long pass. Stopped illegally. Fourth foul against Donovan Johnson. Murray will go to the line. Danny Byrne will have a quick huddle. The gap not enough though to prevent Manchester from topping this group. They will start their BBL Championship season next Friday night at the Bristol Flyers. If you want to watch that game, get yourself a Flyers pass. You can get those at bristolflyers.co.uk. And then the Rocks, their opening date in the Championship against the Giants at Bellevue next Sunday afternoon. And make sure you get on the new BBL player to watch that game, available online at bblplayer.co.uk. Well, Giants did come here this afternoon with very high hopes of what would have been, if we go back to the old franchise, a first Manchester victory against the Rocks in almost 20 years. It's not to be, as it seems at the minute. And then Pondo reduces that probability a little further. The lead back into double figures. 90 seconds remaining. Cassell for three, eventually drops. Full court pressure from the Giants. Double team. Brandon got out of it just. 3 on 2. Pondo says, just let's slow this down, fellas. The clock is our friend. Coetti, the kick out to Bunyan. Leads all scorers for the Rocks. Can't extend it. Pondo, rebound inside.
That's him out of the game. Too unsportsmanlike, huh?
It's quite a spectacular fallout. After watching Strictly last night, that's a move that could have gone down quite well. I should say it's not what I normally watch on a Friday night. Anyway, Saturday night, even Donovan Johnson's 5th foul.
Pondo's been a great tonight. His energy, but he does it all. He's getting the rebounds, hitting some threes, getting in the lane, making the extra pass. Impressive young talent. From an MVP perspective, who would be your MVP tonight?
I mean, I have to say, I mean, he is the Rocks' leading scorer with 18 points, 7 of 9, 4 of 6 3-pointers. But I think Bunyan's caliber of controlling the tempo tonight has been a real difference, because you need your veterans to step up. He is not a veteran. There's been questions asked at times. The Rocks have responded pretty well, and that's what you want from him.
Definitely. Getting his confidence back, making sure that those threes are dropping, but it's, I always say he's a rhythm controller. He controls the game.
The lead extended by 1 from Pondo. Charlie Britton getting a quick cameo at the end of the game here as the Giants' foul count depletes the reserves. Shot clock at 10. Bunyan, as he has done all night, guarded by Jack Hudson. Foul picked up. Bunyan unhappy with the contact that he drew there. A few bodies in between to keep everyone apart.
I think Johnny gave him a little elbow to the mouth there. You have to watch, he might sue him.
Bunyan to the line, put the icing on the cake. Fourth foul by Getz Hudson, won't matter too much. Next one drops, Bunyan. Opportunity for a 20-point game, which he accepts.
We'll have to check if that's a career high for Johnny.
Well, BBL career high, we know. See big nights at Falkirk, especially when he was throwing lob passes to you and your occasional cameo there over the years. Into the last 30 seconds. Pondo knocked out of his hands. 2-on-1 break. Whelan drops it in.
And that's one of those fouls you're just thinking to yourself, why?
Prolonging the agony. Yeah, what does this mean? Well, Giants will top the group with a 3-1 record. And as things stand, I would see them hosting Surrey in the quarterfinals on the weekend of 8th to 11th of December. And the Rocks, as things stand, well, they will finish second in this group, and as it stands in the other groups,